Said you're probably walking up the stairs.
No, I
right
got
now.
plantar fasciitis and I can't
Oh,
walk
no.
up the stairs, otherwise I would. Good morning, everyone.
Morning.
Oh wait, I need to join.
So you need to let Jeff in too. Is there anybody
I don't
waiting?
feel so nice. It's constant. No sleep, I can't sleep. So I work from 3:30 a.m. till 6 and then I take a nap for a while.
You can see what I'm doing.
Does it get foggy?
Let me know when you're ready to start, Lori.
Let's see.
Okay, we are now recording.
I haven't seen Jeff in a
I'd like to call the City of Manistee Housing Commission special meeting of Thursday, June 6th to order. It is now 9:02. Roll call, please.
Commissioner Pelton,
Here.
Commissioner Taylor. Absent. Commissioner Szymanski.
Here.
Commissioner Goodman.
here.
President Fosdick.
Here. We have two things on the agenda. The first will be the discussion concerning the resident commissioner. I don't know what we're going to do as far as discussion, but I would entertain a motion to recommend the city council to remove James Taylor as a resident commissioner for behavior unbecoming of a housing commissioner. And I guess we can do discussion on it once we get a motion. Do I have a motion?
Oh.
It's a tough one.
This is tough.
I know.
This is really tough. Any advice from council?
Yeah, so President Fosdick made a motion, and at this time you can discuss it if anybody has concerns regarding its motion, or we can just go ahead and proceed to a vote. At this time, since he is not present, we cannot go into closed session regarding it, because he would have to be present to recommend it. So if you want to discuss, the reasons why the motion was made, we can discuss that. Or we can go ahead and, vote on whether we want to recommend his removal to the city council. And in that, the resolution, my position that we should, point out certain things as to why. I mean, he missed this meeting today. It was addressed to him. Hasn't followed our rules and regulations as a resident of City of Manistee Housing Commission. And then there's some other concerns too with treatment of other commissioners that I've been made with. So I don't know if we want to discuss those, and if you want to discuss whether if that merits removal, or just proceed to a vote.
Well, my concern is that he was advised that he could attend in a couple ways today. And was there anything further than the last communication on his attendance?
Not that I'm aware of.
Anybody?
No, he was invited to come in like Jeff is through Teams.
Right. He could have called in or come in on the computer.
Yeah, and I could even, step out in the hallway and call to see if he wants to just come in on the phone.
Do you want to do that right now?
Sure, I can attempt that.
Just, so we go to one,
Jeff, just a point of clarification, I don't think there's a motion on the floor yet.
no,
Okay.
No, there is not.
it's discussion. And he's asked for a motion.
Okay. So at this time, we can, since we're waiting to hear from him, we can table that and go to the 1717 Vine Street renovation.
Great.
And come back to the discussion concerning resident commissioner.
I like that idea.
but the person to do the 1717 Vine Street is now in the hall called Taylor.
What we,
We can start the discussion.
us,
Yeah,
Okay.
and
I think
don't
it's a
wanna-
philosophical question. Do we want to move forward with the
Yes.
renovations?
Yeah,
Did you make that motion?
I would make the motion, and I like that Baker Tilly, who agrees with me, wants to go forward with the 1717 renovation so that we have another unit for a family available under the Manistee Housing Commission.
And I second that.
So I know Lord just had a conversation with the low bidder, and he doesn't know if he has the ability to get it done this summer.
Okay, well, open up for other bids then?
Yeah, so no, I think we could go to the second bidder, which is, I think, $500 more.
Oh, 500?
I think that's the difference.
Okay, let me see.
Invite that thing. Yeah, just click on that link.
They could have it done in, I think, what'd they say, 60 days?
Yeah, you have to click on the link
Is that a Don
to
check?
get in.
A dam check, yep.
Yeah. And he's done work for us before.
Yep, he did the
Yeah.
12th
Which I might
Street.
be able to
Are those-
resend it if you
Well,
can't
that-
find it.
are those occupied? I mean, I was thinking it would've been fun to look at them when the work got done, but are they already occupied?
This one?
12th Street?
Yes.
Oh, they are down, they are occupied.
see it?
Yeah, yeah, and if you
The
go on, you
invite?
can see that we
I think
we
she sent it on Monday.
landscaped, got rid of all the
third.
debris and junk, and I think we leased it out that day.
Oh, good. Both sides?
Yeah. Yeah.
I say we go to Adon Chuck, who has the next bid and who has already done some work for us that we're happy with.
Well, it's my understanding that there's 3 bids here that we have to, Adamchuk's doing the major construction, then we have a flooring bid, and then we have a boiler bid.
Yep.
Is that correct?
Yes. So the estimated cost was 55,000. I think that would be 55,500 now.
No, 50,000. Oh, 55 with flooring.
With the-
right?
Yeah, with the flooring and in the boiler, but we expect that to be fully covered by DTE.
Oh, good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So,
So Ginny made the motion,
I seconded.
seconded it. Any more discussion?
Who second?
Mick?
Mick?
Well, like I said, I did look at it, and to me, the amount of money that we're spending to get that apartment is not unreasonable.
I don't think so.
I don't think it was outlandish amount of work. It's certainly not going to be what we would like to see in the future, but it should be a comfortable, livable space
yeah.
for the next,
Do you
and we don't
see
know,
the-
it could be
The email.
3 to 5 years. If 5 years, you probably have
Yep.
gotten a payback, so, or at least a
So it'd
break
have
even
been from
on your
Heather
investment.
Peffley.
With this rent, there is no
Okay, let me re-invite.
HUD money involved to bring it up to, what do I want to
Like,
say?
well, it would've came in on Monday. You
Yeah,
would've got
for
an
rent,
email from
30%
Monday
of
that you
their
need to
income
click
is
on.
all we're gonna
She
receive.
Well, that's not exactly
It
true
may not
because
come.
we get an operating subsidy, which is a
just came up
calculation
with the
based on our overall operating cost.
That's right.
And
So we
so-
have one more unit in there.
Yeah, so,
Okay.
yeah, and I think that the danger we circled back to is if we did take it offline, then going through this RAD conversion would be a unit that we couldn't replace.
Right.
So I think that's an
And that's
important,
important, I
no,
think,
That's
yeah,
long-term.
yeah.
So I don't know if the people visiting
It would've
today
been the
know.
third.
It's
So it
a
would've been an email. that
3-bedroom
came in on the third.
unit.
You can just
Four.
go to your emails
four,
from Monday.
Yes.
that
Big
has
unit.
been, that has been uninhabitable for over 4 years. And it's, it could be a nice unit for a family. I mean, it's not, I've seen worse. And so we are hoping to get it ready for a family. And what's the projected timeline? 3 months or something?
I think,
It's probably 90 days, I think, 60 to
Yeah.
90.
Yeah.
Dennis had 90 days and
I'm sure it'll
then,
make the neighbors happy.
Yeah, yep, just click on
well,
that.
if you saw the renovations in the other ones, I mean, it was
Nice.
very nice on the inside. I mean, the buildings are what they are. They're shallow pitched roofs and everything, so you can't really fix that, but they'll be very livable and very respectable when they're done. And it is, like Jenny said, an opportunity to serve more folks in the community. especially this larger unit, which we don't have very many of.
Right. I take it he's trying to log in.
Okay. Oh, you're in, Jimmy, I think. Yeah, you,
Okay, is there any
He's
more
talking to
discussion?
you and Hannah.
Any more discussion on 1717?
okay, James, you're on, I think. Can you hear us?
Call for a vote?
Oh, it started
Roll call.
coming through
You
for
want
a
a roll
minute.
call?
Okay, I'm just gonna put you on,
Commissioner Goodman,
Yes.
Commissioner Pelton,
Yes.
Commissioner Szymanski.
Yes.
President Fosdick.
Yes.
can you hear okay?
Motion carried.
Or can you click off that so we can see
Oh,
Jeff?
sure can, sorry.
Now is Mr. Taylor online now?
Yes, so I do have James Taylor on the phone. And he said he can hear us.
Okay. Do we want to just discuss this, or I just soon not air dirty laundry in front of the public?
Well, it's a public hearing.
Yeah. I don't think we can avoid it.
I could not hear, President Fosdick. Is it muted on your end? Can you hear me?
We can hear you.
Hear
Can you
you.
hear us?
All right, now I can. A second ago, I couldn't.
Steve thought we couldn't discuss the issue of Mr. Taylor at this meeting, but it is a public meeting to discuss this. Correct?
That is correct. And Mr. Taylor can request that any discussion be in a closed session. He still has that right. It's about him. Or if he wants it to be open to the public, it can remain open to the public.
So James, did you hear that? If you want, we can have public leave while we discuss this, or we can continue on with the public present.
Public presence fine.
Okay, he said the public present's fine.
Do you want to make a statement?
Would you like to make any statements, James?
Not right now.
Not at this time.
What brought this to a head here was 2 weeks ago, right after our commission meeting. In fact, I think either the next day, it was either the Friday after the commission meeting or the Saturday morning. We had just hired a new employee, and she was introduced at that commission meeting. On the next day, Mr. Taylor texted that employee. And he was complaining about the commission. He was complaining about me. He actually slandered me. And he had a lot of his facts wrong. This is not the first problem that I have had or this commission has had with Mr. Taylor. I can remember when he first came on the board, he was lording it over some of the other tenants, and I received a few tenant complaints on that, and I took him and Linda Beaton from the city council, and we went to a restaurant and had lunch and said, Jim, you can't do that. They're not your servants, you're their servant. At one other time, he requested the Housing Commission's credit card so he could go buy some stuff for beautification or whatever, which isn't allowed. He has constantly berated, at least on 3 different occasions, our management team of Lori and Mark, complaining that they think that they run the show. Well, they do run the show. That's what they've been hired for. We voted here last summer to replace or to take out the trees that were overhanging the riverbank because ships were hitting them, and we felt it was a navigational issue to the ships. So we voted in a meeting to have those removed at a $25,000 cost to the Housing Commission, of which Mr. Taylor voted yes, and then went on Facebook and raised all sorts of hell about doing it. So I have tried and tried and tried over this last year to help him, to defend him, and yet it continues to get worse. We moved him into a new apartment because his old apartment wasn't the right size. He had a small one-bedroom. We moved him into a larger one-bedroom. And then this last year, or just a few months ago, he requested to move to the scattered sites. When we did a financial and criminal record on him, he was
So,
denied.
Steve, this is just, the action before would be just to discuss why he should be removed as the resident commissioner. Pertaining to him moving to a different resident, I don't believe that is relevant here. I think we should focus on the facts of what he's done to be removed as a commissioner. So he's not just a commissioner like you four, he's also a resident commissioner. So in addition, he should be a role model to all of the other residents. So if he's violating his lease, if he's violating the rules, if he's smoking his apartment, things like that, which you're not supposed to do, that is another good reason to have him removed. If he is obviously you five commissioners that sometimes you will not agree on everything, which is fine, but then to go around and to cause problems, that's something we don't want that's something that it shouldn't be on a board. You all have your own opinions, but then to sit there and attack somebody, say negative things, disparage over their viewpoints, that shouldn't be allowed. So I say we stick to and focus on those, and whether the commission believes that that's enough to recommend his removal.
I agree with you, Mr. Klug. I didn't know some of these things, obviously. Thank you, Steve, for trying to mediate those. I think overall, being that we were probably first on this commission and lived through dysfunction before, it felt good to be able to start moving forward and have people with investment and being able to work as a team to move forward. And from what I'm understanding, unfortunately, we don't have that going forward. James seems to be wanting to ride his own path, and it doesn't help our commission nor our leadership to deal with that conflict all the time. Did you have something to say?
James, were you trying to say something?
No, not yet.
But he has been also warned by our management to not be smoking in his apartment. He has been written up for the condition of his apartment. So those two things are relevant too. And that's where I want to stop. I think that's enough.
James, what do you have to say?
First of all, the meeting that he talks about at the restaurant was not what he said it was about. It was about the, what I put on Facebook. And I did not put on Facebook, I did not disagree with removing trees. I disagreed with the amount of trees that were. And I have not badmouthed Boring and Market Hall. I'm trying to get my thoughts together. And I haven't. Lori, have I been written up for my apartment condition?
Yes. And then we did have the smoking discussion too, with the ashes in your unit.
And that was taken care of. But, and Linda Beaton was at that meeting and can corroborate what I just said about, I don't understand what he was talking about at that meeting at the restaurant. The only thing I thought Lori and I had a good working relationship. I've never badmouthed her, and like I said, I've never badmouthed Mark. The only thing I had said was that I wondered when we were going to get a full-time director. That was the only thing that I've ever said, and it was nothing against Mark. I just, because we had talked about that.
I think, James, that part of the issue is that you have these discussions everywhere but in this commission meeting. These kind of conversations are part of the team process. If you're not happy with some sort of leadership, if you're not in agreement with a cost that's being expelled, if you want something changed, you have to talk to your commissioners. You can't go on Facebook, you can't go to all your friends, and there are other residents who are coming forward who have concerns about the things that you say to them. And that's concerning because now they feel like you are in control or you're trying to be in control, and that makes for an uncomfortable living situation.
And you also don't complain about what happens in a commission meeting to an employee of the commission, of the Housing Commission. That's totally inappropriate.
And James, are you violating the resident policies? It's been reported that you continue to smoke in your apartment.
No, I'm not.
Okay. It has been reported.
Not by staff, but for others.
Yeah, I know who is. And it's someone we're having a problem with.
Someone who's having a problem with.
Everyone.
Oh. Not me.
No, I've got other tenants screaming at them and stuff.
Okay, well, if you are violating the rules of living under Housing Commission, that right away would dismiss you as a resident commissioner, in my opinion.
And Mr. Taylor, you do have the right to resign too, if you want to resign. There is our bylaws allow for a commissioner to resign.
What did you say?
You can resign. Our bylaws allow you the ability to resign.
Right.
And that's originally what I gave, the first choice I gave to him was I asked for his resignation so he wouldn't have this meeting here today.
Maybe with your health issues and stuff, it would be wise to just step back for a while and then at a later time when we have an opening, consider it again. Since you're unable to attend meetings.
This is the only meeting.
No, James, there's been a couple other ones you have not attended.
Well, it's my understanding, Jim, that you're on pretty much bed rest. You can't attend meetings for at least the next 4 weeks. Is that correct or not?
Well, let's not get into,
Yeah,
but we're just focusing on this. Let's not get into any, the health issues is not a factor.
Okay.
So the factor are that he's a resident commissioner, he's not following, the lease and the rules as a resident. And a resident commissioner should be the one who is setting an example. That's one of the reasons. And then everything else that was discussed. if there's more discussions regarding this, we can continue to have it. If Mr. Taylor would like to resign, he can resign, or if there's no more discussions, I believe that we should just put it to a motion and have a vote. And since Mr. Taylor's not present, he cannot vote.
So I have a question. Again, new to the commission, so I don't have any firsthand knowledge of any of the background. Is there documentation about smoking and about condition of his apartment? Is there something that has been annotated as far as a record? Or is there any substantiation to comments made or emails? You mentioned the Facebook stuff, but I don't know how I would ever track back. But I'm just curious if there was any substantiating documents that.
I do have a copy of the text that was sent to me by the employee.
Okay.
And we have a write-up on smoking.
And then, so, yes, so on the, when I did the initial unit inspections, anyone that failed their unit inspection did receive a lease violation notice for an unacceptable condition, so we would have that documentation. On the smoking, when I became the executive director, I put in several newsletters that smoking was not allowed. So in the beginning, I was giving everybody verbal warnings. I did say to Commissioner Taylor, please, as a director, don't put me in a position where I have to send you a lease violation notice for this. So that was a verbal conversation asking him to stop smoking in his unit, so that I would not have to send him a lease violation notice on that.
I know smoking in those buildings has been a big concern to the residents as well as the commission and city council for that matter. So I think certainly that is something that needs to be enforced and addressed.
Yeah, and if we can circle back to some of the policies that weren't being enforced, we softly tried to enforce it first with verbal warnings, and then as time went on and more notification went out, then we started doing lease violations. And
There was a grill too, right?
Propane tank.
there was a propane tank in the unit as well.
That's,
Lori, did you say about the condition that you did a reinspection and accepted it?
No, I did not mention that, but after, I can't remember, I did so many, I can't remember how many, but after James did pass his inspection eventually. I will be doing them again here within the next couple months.
The other thing I also have, Mick, for
And Lori, how many, were there other employees that witnessed the smoking or the ashes in the apartment?
Say that again, please, Jeff?
Were there other employees that witnessed the smoking or saw any indication that he's been smoking in his apartment?
Yes. When I do inspections, I am accompanied by the maintenance crew leader. So he also witnessed the evidence that there was smoking in the unit. And to my knowledge, I haven't been in there recently, but anytime I have been to the unit, it was very apparent.
That smoking was.
The smoking was taking place.
And I don't believe Commissioner Taylor has denied, we've asked him that question a few times. I don't think he's denied that he smokes in his apartment.
Well, I think we've done enough of a summary and had our discussions. I believe that, again, this commission is moving forward, and we cannot have, we are setting different standards. You know, several of us know that standards were not kept prior to this new commission. And so we are holding people accountable. We are expecting people not to smoke. We are expecting people to take care of their property. We are expecting them to be cooperative. They're living in a multi-unit facility. Be kind to your neighbors. Don't be yelling at people. So, you know, all of this is an even higher expectation for a commissioner. So I feel as if I can't support James staying on the commission any longer.
At this time, I'd like to entertain a motion to recommend to the city council to remove Mr. Taylor as a resident commissioner for his past behavior unbecoming a commissioner.
That would also include violating the rules and regulations and leads by smoking.
Right.
Yes,
So you're looking for a motion.
yes.
I'm sorry to say that I am making a motion for Mr. Taylor to be removed, to go to city council for consideration for removal based on the discussion we have had, most importantly, lease violations as a bad example as a resident commissioner.
I second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Now it's time for public comments. Are there any public comments at this meeting? Come to the podium, Deb.
All right, Deborah Kaiser. I didn't know all of this, and I came to support Jim, but, you know, you didn't know this other stuff going on, so I have to be with you guys.
Thank you, Deb.
Thank you for your support.
Any other public comment?
Hi, I'm the infamous Linda Beaton. However, I'm not here to talk about the Jimmy situation and what has just happened. I do want you to know, I think this is important to the community. I'm going to go speak to the county too. The American Red Cross is coming for a blood drive. They're coming July 25th. It will be held at the Veterans, the VFW on 28th Street. I have met the district manager. She happens to be a relative of the lady who owns the house across the street from me. I told her I would help spread the word. So I just thought I'd bring that to your attention, and if your residents and any of the units are able to give blood and they feel like doing that on the 25th, we would really appreciate it. Thank you.
Linda, June 25th?
July 25th.
July 25th.
July 25th.
We can put it in the newsletter.
There you go.
Thank you.
Any more public comments? Announcements and upcoming meetings, 2 weeks from today, Thursday, June 20th is our next regularly scheduled commission meeting
At
Century Terrace. Right?
Century Terrace, yep.
And with that, I entertain a motion to adjourn.
I move we adjourn.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried.
Thank you, Commissioners. Good seeing you again.
Thank you. Good to see you, Jeff.
Good job. Thank you.
Thanks for the help.
So I'm going to step